Did you miss RibFest this year and you were wondering what it was like in Brantford for 2022? Well, you're going to want to stay tuned because we're going to take you through a quick little walkthrough so you can see exactly what happened at the festival and what there is to offer. Hey guys, it's Jeff here. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here and you want to keep up to date with everything that's going on in Brantford, whether it's events or what's going on in the real estate market, you're going to want to subscribe to this channel and press that subscribe button so that you stay up to date with everything that's going on in Brantford. If you have not gone to the Rib Festival, you're going to want to check it out because it is something for everyone. They have live music, they have bouncy castles for kids, they have local shops, along with all these amazing food vendors. And let's not forget funnel cake, but it is not called Funnel Cake Fest, it's called Rib Fest. And so what we did was we got 3 of the top recommended from the Facebook group ribs that we're gonna try out and we're gonna review. And you're gonna wanna wait till the end where I declare a winner between these 3. In the review, we're gonna be looking at 3 things to determine what makes the best ribs. Now, the number 1 thing is size. The number 2 thing is sauciness. And number 3, obviously, it's gotta be taste. So what we have here is we have the Crazy Canuck, and this is a full rack of ribs. It was $32. Now the price is pretty standard throughout each vendor. It's $32 for a rack of ribs. So we have the Crazy Canuck here. They are a local favorite here in Brantford. So even if there is not a Rib Fest, they are right around the corner and you can always go get a rack no matter what. Next, we have Brickyard Barbecue. And this is another one that I just can't stop looking at, but I can't wait to dive in and check out. And then we have Route 55. And from what I can tell, all of these look delicious. You can't go wrong with any of them. Okay, so let's get into it. Now first, again, when it comes to sizes, we have the Crazy Canuck full rack of ribs. Now this is a fairly big rack of ribs. There doesn't seem to be too much fat or grease on it, but it does look nice and charred and it is definitely going to be tasty. Now here we are at the second set of ribs, and this one is from the Brickyard Barbecue, and it is nice and shiny, full of juices. It is actually, to me, it looks bigger than the Crazy Canuck. It definitely has more sauce and more juiciness to it. This one seems like your very classic rib. But again, these ones, nice and charred, nice and shiny, as you can see. And now we have Route 55. Now, in size comparison, it is around the same size as the Crazy Canuck. And it looks like it has a mixture between the Brickyard Barbecue and the Crazy Canucks saucing style, where it's just enough to keep it nice and moist and looking great. Now, when it comes to the size of the racks for $32, they all are the same price. Now, what I find just by looking at it here, I think that the Brickyard Barbecue has the largest ribs. It may just be the sauce on it that makes it look extra big, but to me, this one is the clear winner when it comes to the size. Okay, so now we're gonna go on to sauciness. Now, not everybody loves a lot of sauce on the ribs. It is a personal choice, but you know, it is something that I usually critique or look for in my ribs. So let's get to it. So again, for this one, we are looking at the Crazy Canuck, and when it comes to sauce, it has about the bare minimum. It has been slightly charcoaled, and I don't expect too much of a sauciness from this, but they do look very good and well cooked. So on a scale of, not saucy to saucy, this is more on the end of not really that saucy. And then we have the Brickyard House barbecue. And now you can just take a look at the amount of sauce on this, and it's just crusted so beautifully. And this is sort of kind of the way I like my ribs. I like them more saucy, but it might be a little bit too much sauce, but we'll have to check that out when we do the taste test, which I honestly can't wait to get to. But on a scale of not saucy to saucy, this one is pretty saucy. And now we're going to look at Route 55 and look at the sauciness of this. Now it looks like a mixture between Brickyard House and the Crazy Canuck. So what we have here is just enough sauce. It's not too much, it's not too little. So on that scale of between not saucy and saucy, I'd say right in smack dab in the middle, and it looks somewhere in between these other two. And now the moment you've probably all been waiting for, and this is the taste test. I know I've definitely been waiting for this since I was standing in line for about 2.5 hours to get all three of these. So again, you are kind of looking at about 45 minutes in whatever line you get into. So be sure to get there early. It does get really busy, and they had started to run out when I got there around 4 o'clock. All right, guys, so let's get to the taste test. And I'm going to grab the first one right here, the local favorite, Crazy Canuck. And let me tell you, it looks like it's been perfectly cooked, and I can't wait to try this out. So again, very, very good. You don't really make a mess of your hands. Obviously, you have the grease on there. But the rib is very tender, but it's more like a dry rub as opposed to being saucy. They did have a table in the middle where you could add more sauce. Maybe I should have done that next time. But again, very delicious, superly well cooked, but it's just more of a dry rub. It's not too saucy, and in my eyes, that's a down factor. But you can't knock them. They're really, really tasty. I'm gonna give it a rating of about 7.5. And now for the Brickyard barbecue ribs. Now these ones I've been eyeing since I put on the table, and I can't lie that I've already got high hopes for these guys. They come recommended again from the Facebook group of what's happening in Brantford. But as you can see, a lot of sauce, very, very good. Now that was a delicious rib. It had a lot of sauce on it. It was very tender, very juicy, and I could definitely eat a ton more of these ones, where it is not really a dry rub. You do get more sauce on your hands and on your face. But again, that's the whole part of fun of the eating ribs. So this one, I'm going to give a score of probably around 9. And then we have Route 55. As mentioned, it looks like a cross between the other two, and it is another set of ribs that I was looking at because it has just the right amount of sauce. It looks tender and juicy, but not so much that it's going to start dripping everywhere. And that could be a benefit to some people. But again, what it comes down to is taste. So I'm going to try one of these ribs now. Now this rib, very tender, falls right off the bone. We have a little bit less sauce than the Brickyard House, but it is perfectly done. It's really hard for me to choose between these two. But on a scale, I would probably give this a 9 as well. Well, you might be wondering who won this challenge. Now, when it comes down to it, the winner had the best in all 3 categories. The best size, the best sauciness, and the best taste. And when it comes down to it, it is the Brickyard barbecue. It is just absolutely phenomenal. It drops off the bone. It's super saucy, just the way I like my ribs. Also, it's got this extra little charred skin on the top that makes it extra super delicious, and you don't want to put the ribs down. It's definitely worth the wait. So let me know down in the comments below if you attended RibFest this year, and if you didn't, you sure missed out. There was a lot of fun things to do and a lot of delicious food. If you did attend, let me know down in the comments, and let me know which ribs you had and which ones you think were the best. If you liked this video, you're going to want to watch this video right here, where I go through another event that you're going to want to check out here in Brantford. So I'll see you in the next video.